What do you call a password that is at least 7 characters long and uses 3 of the following categories of characters? Perfect. Complex password is the correct choice. When I delete a file or folder, it goes into dash. Good job. Your answer? The recycle bin works well here. What type of firewall works at the session layer, creates a connection, and allows packets to flow between 2 hosts without further checking? Well done. Circuit-level gateway is the right choice. Which operating system is shown in the image? Right choice. Microsoft Windows is the best answer. What type of device is designed to inspect traffic, detect malicious activity, and take steps to mitigate the malicious activity? Sharp thinking. NIPS is the right choice. At what point in the network does the responsibility of the network administrator end and the telecommunications provider begin? Excellent choice. DMARC is the right answer. If you want to protect specific folders on a DVD from unauthorized access, which of the following is the best choice to use? Strong choice. Encrypting file system is the right answer. After you synchronize files between your computer and a network location, what are the files on your computer known as? Great job. Offline files is the accurate answer. This is icon of Dash Oz. Solid response. Apple is a valid choice. Dash authentication is the term used to describe 2 or more authentication methods used to authenticate someone. Right again. Multifactor is a valid answer. Which tool scans your computer and produces a report of any Windows 7 compatibility issues with your computer? N. Well reasoned. Windows 7 Upgrade Advisor is the correct choice. What service on a Windows network is used to translate between NetBIOS names, computer names, and IP addresses? SmartPick. Wins is the correct choice. Which Windows 7 installation requires System Center Configuration Manager for network deployments? Great thinking. Z is the right choice. Which Internet Explorer 9 feature displays messages and alerts at the bottom of the browser window? Good thinking. Notification bar is the right answer. Name the operating system that allows only one user to use the operating system at any given time. You got it? Your choice single-user operating system is right. Dash are small pictures that represent programs, files, or folders, or other things on the desktop. Clear logic. Your choice icons is sound and 100% true. An operating system is a program that helps the user to communicate between the software and DA. Ash. Correct. Hardware is the right answer.
When copy and pasting, how do we do it by only using our keyboard and mouse?
Well picked. Highlight Carol CK V is the correct answer. What type of firewall do you use to block access to certain websites or instant messengers? Nice work. You chose Internet Content Filter and it is correct. What type of device looks at a packet and forwards it based on its destination IP address? Exactly. Router makes sense and it is right choice. What do you call the process whereby a user is identified via a username and password? On track. Authentication is the correct answer.
Which Windows 7 feature lets you adjust a laptop's power plan and screen brightness?
Nicely done. Windows Mobility Center is a solid answer.
What type of device isolates a network by filtering the packets that can enter it?
Smart move. Firewall is an accurate answer.
Dash refers to the container that is used to store different files on the computer.
Nice selection. Folder is the correct and valid answer.
What is the process of giving an individual access to a system or resource called?
You're right. Authorization is the correct answer.
What command tests network connectivity while showing you each hop along the way?
You chose Tracert, and it is correct.
Which action commonly results in the user account control dialog box opening?
Valid point. Uninstalling a program is true.
What type of cable should be used within air handling spaces of a building?
Correct response. Plenum rated is the most accurate answer.
A dash is like a containers in which we can store similar type of files.
Excellent. Folder is a brilliant choice.
Which is the small pictures that represent files, folders and programs.
Bravo. Icon is the answer.
What protocol does the ping command use to test network connectivity?
Perfect. ISAMUMP is the correct choice.
Hardware and software can't communicate without an operating system.
Solid response. True is a valid choice.
What protocol automatically sets the app configuration for a client?
Excellent choice. DHCP is the right answer.
Air dash is a route that must be manually defined on each router.
Excellent. Static root is a brilliant choice.
What name does Windows Server 2008 R2 use for terminal services?
Correct. Remote desktop services is the right answer.
Which DM's configuration uses one firewall with 3 interfaces?
Nicely done. 3-leg perimeter configuration is a solid answer.
What command is used to add static routes to a Windows computer?
Right choice. Root is the best answer.
In which model does each host have their own security database?
Great thinking. Peer-to-peer is the right choice.
Most people have this operating system in their computer system.
Bravo. Microsoft Windows is the answer.
Dash is the process of decreasing the size of files or folders.
Right again. Compression is a valid answer.
Which layer in the OSI model do MAC addresses and switches use?
Good thinking. Data link is the right answer.
What mechanism do wireless networks use to access the network?
Correct response. CSMA-CHI is the most accurate answer. Operating system is not an essential software of a computer. You chose B false, and it is correct.
What do the initial SIA stand for in relation to security?
Strong choice. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability is the right answer.
Dash is used to send packets from one network to another.
Well picked. Routing is the correct answer.
What category of ports are numbered from 49152 to 65535?
Good job. Your answer dynamic ports works well here.
What is the default subnet mask for a Class B network? 255.25.0 is the correct choice. Without an operating system, the computer is useless.
Nice work. You chose true and it is correct.
Which wildcard character is used for quicker search? Oi.
On track. Hi is the correct answer.
What setting forces users to change their password?
Well done. Maximum password age is the right choice.
Which of the following is not a fiber connector?
You got it. Your choice RJ45 is right.
At which layer of the OC model are VLANs found?
Great job. Data link is the accurate answer.
What protocol is used with L2TP to encrypt data?
Valid point. IPsec is true.
A dash address is assigned by a DCP server.
You're right. Dynamic is the correct answer.
What is the most common form of authentication?
Well reasoned. Password is the correct choice.
On which OC layer do routers function?
Clear logic. Your choice 3 is sound and 100% true.
How many bits are in an IPv6 address? Smart move. 128 is an accurate answer.
The termas is the short form of.
Nice selection. Operating system is the correct and valid answer.
What speed does FADI use?
Exactly. 100 Mbps makes sense and it is right choice.
What does GUI stand for?
Sharp thinking. Graphical user interface is the right choice. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Right again. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is a valid answer.